Hi friends, in today's session we are going to talk about a very important topic, something usually that we sort of tend to ignore or tend to forget in the midst of all this running around and MCQ solving, and that is our clinical postings. So in today's session I am going to give you a little bit of advice on a personal level how to make the most of your OBGYN postings. So, yes, MCQs are very important, and finally, it is going to help you crack your NEET PG exam. But the important thing to remember is that at the end of all this, we also have to become good doctors, knowledgeable doctors. Not just that, just forget that for a minute. We don't know when next is going to just suddenly start. We cannot. Be very sure when it's going to start. One day, suddenly we'll have a notification saying that, okay, from this session onwards, we are going to have next. And in next, OBGY is going to be the single most important. If I had to tell you what is the most important subject that is going to have the maximum weightage in next, it's going to be OBGY among the long subjects. And I'm not just saying it because I'm OBGY faculty. So today we are going to talk about how to make the most out of your OBGYN postings. And it is very important that most of your syllabus you are able to complete during your postings over the course of. So there are some colleges who start their postings in second year, there are some who start it in their third year, and final year, of course, you have your postings. Final year, of course, you have your postings, and in internship also you have a fair share of exposure to OBGY. So no matter at what point you start, why it's very important to attend your postings very religiously, very regularly, is because OBGY is actually a very easy subject in the sense of what you see in your postings, what you see in your labor room, what you see in your wards, what you see in your OT. It's exactly that is asked in your questions, not just in your professional exams or your end posting viva, but also in the MCQs that you write, right? So point number one is attend postings regularly. And this is not just me. uh, you ask anybody across the board, any college. Even my husband says so, he's a radiologist. But you ask anybody what is the subject that they gleaned the maximum out of, they were actually able to nichodo, squeeze out the maximum information, learn the most from during their internship or during their clinical posting. Without a doubt, most people are going to say it is OBGYN. So the scope of the subject is not as vast, as unlimited as in medicine and surgery. There are limited things, and even among those limited things, there are going to be certain things that are not seen very often, hence won't be expected of you. So the syllabus is finite. So the reason for this is the syllabus, unlike in medicine and surgery, the syllabus is finite. Not only is it finite, what you see in your postings is actually what will be asked, because that's all there is in the subject. So point number one will be definitely to attend your postings very regularly, be a part of it. Bus sampling mat karte reh jana, don't just be a part of sampling. Even small things like sampling, uh, you remember when you do so many times. So I remember at my time we did not have INI, we had a separate AIMS and PGI exam, and there was one random question. तब तो MCQ में it was not a previous year topic or previous year question, so it wasn't discussed at our time that ये भी question आ सकता है. But one of the questions they had asked was, they had given a random colored cannula and had asked what is the gauge of this cannula. So the more you involve yourself in your clinical postings, there are certain things that you don't expect they're going to ask you, but you'll just know कि इसका answer ये है because you've put that cannula so many times into individuals. So do that. So now, how to study OBGY? So I think the best way to study is learning by seeing. You can learn by reading. Learning by doing is actually the best, but doing is something that might be limited, might not be available, accessible to all of you throughout the colleges across the country. So the next best thing that we have is learning by seeing. So if we learn by seeing, so we see something, we ask the residents or faculties, depending on who you find approachable, who you think is able to explain it better to you. That is something that you can judge. So you ask the residents or you ask the faculty what is happening, what is exactly happening, right? And after that, you go home and read. Now, this is going to sound very exhausting. You're going to say, ma'am, we don't have that much time. So you don't really have to read too much. So, for example, if you're sitting in the OPD, so in OPD, sometimes what happens is in some colleges, randomly the faculty will just give you teen char cards they'll give you, and they'll tell you 3 4 cards, okay, you take the history examination, they won't even give you. So just because they have not given you the examination, don't just write the history and you want to get out of the OPD fast, so you just move on to the next card. Once that history is done, go and discuss it with your resident or with your faculty. Ask them what is missing, what else you could ask, right? And when they're examining the patient, no patient is going to go home without an examination. So when they're examining the patient, you go there, you see the examination. So one is, when you are taking history in the OPD, they can tell you what points are missing, and when they tell you what are the points that are missing, they will also tell you the clinical correlations. See, you should have asked this because this could lead to this, right? So you are gaining new knowledge, number one. Number two is, see the examination. So the examination will help you not just to see what is exactly happening in the disease, and this is often a question that is asked to you across exams, right? That what is the examination finding in so and so pathology, right? Not only will it help you to know what is happening, what is expected in the examination, you will also see a lot of commonly used instruments. So at max, at your speed, at the speed of an undergraduate, if you take a good history, I don't think you will be able to get past more than 4 or 5 cards in a day. Similarly, if you are posted in the ward, they ask you to take samples. So ask them, why are they taking the samples that they are taking? Or if they have told you patient number 1, 5, 7, and 10 bed numbers, get them to the ultrasound room. You ask them, ma'am, why are we doing the ultrasound? Why are they admitted? So this way, what will happen is that at the end of every day, you will have 3 to 4 topics that you have seen. And the easy thing about obs-gynae is that the kind of things that we see are very recurrent. So in your OPD, a major chunk will be infectious diseases, STIs, vaginal discharge, PID. Then there will be another major chunk that is going to be abnormal uterine bleeding, and then there is going to be another chunk that is going to be infertility. So these are things you're going to see on a regular basis, and there will be some others that you will see on a semi-regular basis. So at least these 3 4 things that you see, what you do is, next, you read a concise version. And this concise version, especially for those people who are just starting out with their OBG posting or have no knowledge of OBG, like your second and third year. So if you're in your second and third year and you have never done OBG before, then it is a good idea to know, whatever notes that you have, you look at those notes. Try not to go to videos straight away. Look at the notes. Whatever you don't understand, then you can look at the video, right? Or you can look at whatever book that you're comfortable with. You can do that. You can use that. So if you are able to read even 2 to 3 pages, and don't read everything. If you are just starting out, then maybe just read the clinical features, because that's what you've seen in the OPD, and read the examination finding. And because these conditions are so recurrent, they are so repetitive, what you will see is next day when you go back to the OPD, of the 4 topics or 3 topics that you've read, you will see that 2 you are seeing again, right? And when you see those 2 again, you will be able to better correlate. Your history will be better. When you're doing the examination, or when your resident is doing the examination, you will be able to confirm the findings with them and see what you have read is actually correlating, and that can really leave an imprint on your mind. So do that. That will be a great way to go. For those who are a little older, for example, if you are in your final year, or internship. So internship, I know, is very busy in a lot of places, and without exception, I think OBGY postings, they are busy in all of the places. Even if it's not actually busy, your residents will make it a point to make it busy for you. So if you are in your final year and internship, then what you should do is, ideally, because you are lower on time, you should go for one topic at least one topic that you have done that day and read that in detail. You should read that in detail. And whenever you are reading, reading is incomplete. I read anything, even the smartest of people read something, and if they don't reinforce it or they don't have it written in a place, they tend to forget. So it is very important, no matter how small a portion you are reading, you need to make your own notes. Make your own notes. So for example, if I am seeing a patient on vaginal discharge and today I am going to read about vaginal discharge. So what I do is I make 2 pages, I take a notebook, 2 or 3 pages, I assign that, okay, these 2 pages are going to be for vaginal discharge. These 2 pages are going to be for vaginal discharge. Right. And what I do is whatever notes that I have made from reading, I write those down here. I write those down here. But I also leave some space. I also leave some space because you are going to grow up through the years, or you are going to do your previous year's questions, you're going to do your MCQ books, you are going to be taught new things by newer faculty, by maybe your college faculty, by whatever faculty that you're following, for your coaching, right? And then they are going to tell you certain extra points. So those extra points, whatever you have not written, you can add on over here. As a result of this, if you start early, what happens is that by the time you get to your internship and the time for your preparation, you have a bundle of notes with maximum topics in obs and gynae that you already have notes for. And because they are handwritten notes, you can't understand any notes as well as you can understand your own notes. So that is again something that is really going to help you in the long run. So initially you might find it a little stupid or time consuming, or you may not want to do it, but just take those 10 minutes to just sort of summarize what you have read, right? And whenever you are reading some other topic, maybe you have taken notes, or you have taken lecture videos of any institute, right? And maybe if you are reading, for example, radiology, right? And when you're reading radiology, you have a chapter on radiology in gynae, and over there you see certain pictures. For example, for HMOL you see snowstorm appearance, XYZ, whatever you see. What you can do is you can add that finding in those sheets as well. Or if you do microbiology, you are talking about bacterial vaginosis, you read about that, you can add that as well. So this integrated sort of studying is something that is not always possible in internship, but if you start early, especially for those who have their clinical posting starting from second and third year, it can be very, very helpful even in your final year, right? By the end of your MBBS, you are going to have a compiled notes, and if you have a good set of compiled notes, there is nobody who can stop you from getting a good rank in whatever exam that you try for, right? So in the beginning, I would suggest, especially for those who are in their second to final year, even in fact final year is plus minus, I would say do not jump into MCQs right in the beginning, because once you start doing MCQs, do not straight away jump to MCQs. Once you start doing MCQs, what happens is you just sort of start having that mentality. So that mentality is just like find the best possible answer, one word answer, one line answer, right? Not knowing uske aage piche ka ki why is it happening, what are the other things that are related with it. So I know a lot of students personally who just do this, who just do MCQs and they read the explanation of the MCQ that's given, right? That way you might actually miss out on a lot of stuff. Not just that, your attention span also shortens a lot, right? And while that is very, very useful, not a short attention span, but this kind of a very to the point studying is very useful when you're short on time. Maybe if you're taking your drop year, or you are in your internship and you want to crack the next exam while you are in your MBBS, this is not the best way to go. This is absolutely not the best way to go. So first, always read. If you don't understand anything, whatever you don't understand, then you can watch the videos. And I would really request, like, for a lot of you, no matter how young you are, because people have started coaching very early now for NEET PG, you would all be suffering from a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out, because you see people around you, just opening their MCQ books and doing things, or, watching lectures and doing things. So what I want to tell you is none of these have the kind of retention that your own notes can give you. So the best way to do things is make your own notes. So if you feel like, तुम्हारे सारे पन्ने भर गए हैं, all the pages are full, and now you need to add something, just attach another A4 size sheet to it, attach another sticky notes to it. So what will happen is, by the end of it, for every topic you will have 2 to 3 pages of notes. That is it. So 2 to 3 pages is nothing actually in your own handwriting. So that is one good way to go. Another thing that I would like to say, especially when you are in your labor room, the things that you must be aware of, and the things that you must do so that it's imprinted in your brain, that is episiotomy. All about an episiotomy, all about NST or CTG. These things are things that you're seeing live when you're in the labor room. So NST, CTG, look at that. Episiotomy, how it is made, how it is repaired. And the best way to learn PPH is nothing but just posting yourself in the labor room. It is so common, right, that you are going to see it all the time. So PPH, obstetrical emergencies basically. So PPH, uterine inversion, you might not see. You might see retained placenta. So manual removal of placenta, you might get to see, right? In some cases, if you are lucky, unluckily for the patient, you might get to see uterine inversion, right? So basically third stage complications, vulvar hematoma, all of these things, you see them and you just know instinctively, even when you see the question, that okay, I have seen this, I'm confident in this. And when you read the notes, you don't read through it, you just fly through it, right? So labor ward, try to do that. When you are in your wards, when you're in your OPDs, definitely whatever case that you're getting, try to read up on that almost immediately. So, and in ward especially, this is very important. Learn obstetric examination. So you can do all the videos that you want. You can do all the, look at all the pictures you want, all the MCQs that you want. The best way to learn obstetric examination is actually palpating on the patient. And these are, like very, these are not very difficult things. They are very easy things. No resident will ever say no. No faculty will ever say no to you, palpating somebody's abdomen. So do that, learn that. Kabhi straight question aata hai ki this is where the fundal height is, how many weeks does it correspond to? So these things you must learn. And, these are major things. And all the things that I've mentioned till now, if you would have ever seen the previous year's questions, you would see these are all high yield topics. These are all very high yield topics. So, it makes a lot of sense to just be very comfortable and instinctively know what the answers to these are, because you have seen it happen so many times, or you have been a part of it. Because at the end of the day, you have 19 subjects, right? So the more things that you remember instinctively on a spinal level, the less you have to remember out of that entire lot. And OBGY is definitely one of the subjects that can help you do that. So if I talk about, for example, my first year subjects, anatomy requires a good bit of remembering. Biochemistry is all remembering, right? Physio, yes, there is a lot of concept to physiology, right? Similarly, if you just look at all the subjects through the year, there will be very few subjects actually where you can take the load off of remembering, right? And actually knowing things because you have seen it happen. So that is it. That is about how you should, make use of your gynae postings. And I think it will be a very good exercise. It will be a very good exercise if you guys can follow this. And especially for those who are just starting out, it will be a very good exercise. So definitely labor ward, third stage of labor complications, you'll get those down. You'll get NST, CTG, fetal monitoring down, right? In your OPD, you will get common things like abnormal uterine bleeding. You'll get PID, vaginal discharge, infertility, different sorts of cancers. You will get all of that, right? So, and of course, at the end of the day, whatever is left, you will have to read and learn. But that is something that cannot be avoided. At least some of the stress is off. So that's it for today's session. And I hope I was able to help you in some way. And I hope some of you are able to, sort of implement it in your practice and in your clinical postings. And if any of you do, I will personally be very happy, if 2-3 years from now, or even a year from now, somebody DMs me and tells me that, ma'am, you said this and we followed it and we have a good bundle of notes, and OBG became very easy because we already knew so much because we had done the clinical postings well, right? So all about labor you can find out, all about cesarean section you can find out. So these are things that are often asked, right? And there is no need to mug them up because you see it right in front of you. So that's it for today's session. And keep studying. All the best, and do all your clinical postings well, even though this one was for just OBGY.